Ladies and gentlemen, good evening to each and every one of you, and welcome. Tonight, if you would stand, we will have an invocation and be led in our Pledge of Allegiance. Let's pray, please. Heavenly Father, we are grateful for the day. We are grateful for all the many blessings that you have bestowed upon each of us individually and on this city collectively. We are grateful that we have such a tremendous turnout here tonight of local heroes and those folks, Heavenly Father, that just do so much good throughout this community, and we're thankful for them. We ask that you would join us in these chambers tonight. Grant us just a portion of your wisdom as we deliberate the issues of our city. And we pray that the decisions that we make here tonight will be in the best interest of those that we serve. And we make our prayer in your Son's name. Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right. Again, thank you all for being here tonight. This is a night that we as members of council and staff have looked forward to for some time. We have several presentations that we'd like to make tonight, and one I believe is the first in the city of Poquoson. And I am delighted to be able to present this award, and I'm going to ask Amy Rogers if she and her family would join me at this podium, please. She moved on. Good.
Thank you.
Get you guys to we are close where they can. Any other members of the family? We'd like to have all of you.
Mom, Dad.
There's a grandmother here.
Yeah, let's have all the family. Some of you can stand over here so that the cameras can get you.
Hi. I voted for you. Sorry you didn't make it.
Everybody in the city heard that, I guess. Okay, that was fine. Every now and then, and it's not a case that happens often, but in particular in this community, we have tonight a young lady who we want to recognize as a hero of this city. On November the 15th of this year, Amy Rogers was called on, and she responded in the way that I think many folks would do in a case of need, as was with the little child that had fallen in the swimming pool. Amy, we tonight honor you. Not only does this council honor you, and certainly our members of our staff, but we as a city honor you here tonight. And we want to thank you for stepping up to the plate to take that unusual step to save a life. And we certainly think that that's what you did in the case of Alicia Lunsford. And we're going to have Alicia up here in just a few minutes, but I'd like to read the proclamation if I could. Amy T. Rogers, Poquoson hero. Whereas on November the 15th, 2009, the Poquoson Police and Fire received a call from Dispatch Center that a 2-year-old child had fallen into a pool at a residence on Poquoson Avenue. And whereas Amy T. Rogers, an adjacent neighbor, hearing a commotion next door, inquired if there was a problem and if assistance was needed. And whereas upon learning of the emergency and that no one was present at the scene who knew how to administer CPR, Amy Rogers immediately responded to their plea for help. And whereas finding the child not breathing and unresponsive, Amy Rogers began administering CPR and continued to do so until arrival of the medics, by which time the child was breathing on her own. And whereas the child was transported to Children's Hospital of the King's Daughters in critical condition, where she remained in intensive care for only a brief period of time, returned home in time to celebrate the Thanksgiving holidays with her family. Now, therefore, we, members of the Poquoson City Council, do hereby proclaim Amy T. Rogers as a true hero, for our actions in aiding and assisting this family in a time of need, for miraculously saving the life of a young child. And Amy, not only on behalf of City Council, but indeed on behalf of the entire community, we congratulate you, we thank you, and we certainly honor you tonight as one of Poquoson's heroes. Would you folks sit? Now Christina, if you would bring Alicia, and we'd like to come here, darling. This is a recipient right here. You say hi? Can you say hi?
You're fine. Say hi. Say hello.
She's here tonight because of you.
Sure.
Because of you. And we appreciate it. We appreciate it. Stand by. When that 911 call was made, not only did Amy respond, but Mel Inslee responded, Bobby Wood responded, Rick Kisner responded, and Chris Tantillo responded. Just another indication of how important our fire department and police department are to us in the city of Poquoson. And we'll have much more to say about the police department in just a few minutes and the fire department. But I'd like for those folks that actually responded to that call and were part of helping Amy, saving this young girl's life, if they would come up here and be applauded as well, please. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. How about just one more time, ladies and gentlemen? They certainly deserve a round of applause. Okay, great. Okay, grandmamas and granddaddies, we'll thank you very much.
Thank you. I really appreciate it.
We appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
There's another group of very dedicated individuals that we want to recognize tonight as well. I know these folks active during Hurricane Isabel, which we thought was probably the last storm that we would see in a good while. Just several weeks ago, we were again hit with a series of northeasters that devastated this community once again. It has been in the past, and for many years, the community comes to the community's assistance. And in a major way this year was done with the Poquoson CERT team. And so I'm going to ask Lisa if you would kind of lead the way up here. I'd like for your CERT team, if they would, to join me here at the podium. And let me just say a few words about you folks, if I could. You can't not come up here because you got green shirts on and can't hide back there. Could you get them all by? These are the folks, ladies and gentlemen, who at the beginning of the storm and during the storm and at the end of the storm are those folks that are at the doors trying to figure out who needs help, whether they need food, whether they need lodging, what kind of assistance can they bring to those who are less fortunate in this storm. And these folks were active immediately prior to the storm, during the storm, and they have certainly been hard at it ever since the storm. It's a group of dedicated individuals that I'm certainly proud to stand next to tonight, not only in their capacity as a CERT team, but in their capacity as citizens of this community. And so we just wanted to say to you folks tonight, thank you so much. Thank you for being there. Thank you for responding, and thank you for all of the assistance that you gave to this community and continue to do, not only during the storm, but every day throughout the year. We appreciate it. We wanted to recognize you tonight and say how much we appreciate all that you did, all that you are continuing to do, and we're just so proud to have each one of you. I know there are some that are not here, This certainly goes out to those folks who were not able to be here tonight, and we just appreciate you so much. So thank you. Thank you. Appreciate it. All right. Okay. All right. Well, we're just having a good time tonight. This is a rare council meeting. We also have we have another first tonight. And Mark, where's Mark? Mark, would you join me here, please? Mark is one of the founding members, or maybe the founding member, of what is better known as the Bubba Club. It's a bikers club. And they do more than just ride motorcycles. Their mission in life is to help less fortunate folks, to make sure that children during the Christmas season have presents under the tree, in particular a special toy that they might want. And they put in a lot of time and a lot of effort to do that. Mark, this year, and it again is a Poquoson first because this is the very first time that Channel 3 has, our local Channel 3, has had an award like this, and it was given to Mark this year, which I think is pretty impressive. One thing that ought to be said is, Mark works in the inspections department of this community, and sometimes he is he's not the most favorite individual in terms of what citizens may think, because Mark has an opportunity on a lot of occasions he has to say no. And, Mark reaps the repercussions from that from time to time. But suffice it to say that given his position and given the fact that he dedicates his life after the city of Poquoson and his family to trying to make sure that children have a better life, in particular at Christmas time when so many children won't have a Christmas. Mark and his fellow riders make sure that happens. So Mark, Channel 3 picked the right person. We are just so proud of you and your group. It's a People Taking Action Award. There was a certificate of appreciation that was awarded to Mark. And it was for taking action and getting results in the community, and that you have done. And so we would have been remiss tonight had not we taken the time to thank you, tell you how proud we are of you, how much we appreciate what you're doing, and how proud I am to just be associated with you, Mark, and with your group. And so with that said, we thank you so much for all that you've done. Did you understand that?
Well, I got a bit of a tough act to follow here with somebody saving somebody's life, but I just want to say I appreciate this award. I can't say that I did it on my own. All my fellow club members, from Larry, Dee Dee, Jake, Dale, they all helped too. I guess I'm kind of like in the spotlight at times more than they are. But they deserve this award just as much as I do. And like I said, I can't do it without them. And, it's an honor to be a part of this club. And, without getting all choked up here, I do appreciate it. Thank you all.
This is not on the script, but while we have the members of the police department here, would you mind joining me up here? Let me just say something. You see all the blue uniforms here, and I think it's certainly the right thing to do to say something about this department and the men and women that make up this department. I have been, was here long before most of you folks got here. But the one thing that's always been constant in this police department that we have here in Poquoson is a sense of loyalty and a sense of service to the community. And I know that you guys are on the other side of the door, so to speak, when you have to enforce the law. But what in the world would we do if we didn't have them? These folks here tonight and those that are not with us are part of that engine that makes the city operate the way that it does. They're the folks that are, out and about on 12-hour shifts, 4 and 5 days a week, making sure that I'm able to sleep at night, that you're able to sleep at night. And too often we don't say thank you. And so I want to make sure that we do that tonight. I know that you weren't expecting to be up here tonight. When you see that many blue uniforms in the room, maybe you better say something about it, because I want to get home tonight when I leave here. But these guys are great. They're absolutely great, and they do a fantastic job for the city of Poquoson. And I just want you to know, on behalf of council and indeed on behalf of this community, we appreciate you. And I understand that. Go ahead, please. And I understand clearly that we don't say it enough, and there is no excuse for that. There is no excuse for that. I guess we could say that we live too fast and we don't get an opportunity, but we do. But let me say it tonight, in front of these folks, in front of the television audience, on behalf of this council, and just let you know that we are proud to stand shoulder to shoulder with a police department such as we have. And I thank each and every one of you. Okay? Oh, okay. Okay, good idea. Sorry. Let me just take a couple of more minutes, if I could. We have some folks that we need to recognize that are also in our audience tonight. And this recognition, these same folks, these same people that I'll ask to stand, or at least a representative of each department in just a moment, are the very same people that would have been on a list at any time this city faces a crisis. It didn't have to be the Twin Northeasters. It didn't have to be Hurricane Isabel. They do this consistently, and they do it professionally every time. And again, these are the folks that make this city run. It's not this city council. It's the staff of this city it's the engine that drives everything that we do. And if there is any success in this community, don't drop it at this dais up here. Call somebody and call a city employee and tell them what a good job they're doing. From the city manager's office, Randy, why don't you stand for the city manager's office and
With many of us who could.
yeah, Vicky and Judy and Evie. These folks are those folks that were manning the telephones. They were there. They were close to what was going on, not only during these Twin Northeasters, but they have been there consistently and professionally for many, many years. And what we would do without you, I don't know. I know my life would change considerably. So we thank you. We have some folks from our commissioner's office, Graham and some of your folks. You wouldn't think that the Commissioner of Revenue's office would be involved in crises when they hit our city, but they come from everywhere. They come from everywhere, to include the Commissioner's office. Those folks work many, many hours and many overtime hours trying to make the system work. And Graham, you and your folks were a tremendous asset, and we appreciate that. Our assessor's office is another office that you would think would probably be out of here at 4:30 and not return until Monday, but that was not the case with our assessing office. Those folks were there as well and certainly did their part in helping us get through this little storm session that we had a few weeks ago. So a nice hand for those folks too, if you would. Is Mike McGraw or anyone from the Treasurer's office here? Maybe they're watching at home. If they are, we want to thank all of them in that office for spending the extra hours and the extra time trying to assist folks in this community. How about our finance? I saw Robin back there. Anybody else from finance? Robin, would you please stand? Thank y'all. These folks did not leave at 4:30, and they returned to work in the emergency operations centers while the storm was in progress. And how do we say thank you to you folks? We appreciate it. Even our registrar, Tammy, are you here? Or Carol? Hopefully they'll be watching, and we want to make sure that we reach out to them and thank them for the job that they did as well. Our inspections department, anyone here from that department? Those folks were phenomenal and always are. Our public works department, can't say enough about those folks. In fact, those folks continue to assist this community in picking up debris. They're working 12 hours a day, I think 6 days a week, if not 7. Randy, while I'm standing here, do we have a completion date on that?
Mayor, we expect to have the job largely done by the 18th of December. We'll still have scattered pickups, but we think the comprehensive sweeps will be done by that time.
Okay. So for those of you that may be watching this meeting, or for any press that's here, if we can let you know that the 18th is kind of a deadline, and we're hoping to have the city completely done by then. Those folks are working hard every day to get the debris picked up just as quickly as they can. Not only are they doing it themselves, they're saving the city a lot of time, they're saving the city a lot of money, but those guys are working themselves pretty hard, and we're very, very proud of them, and continue to be proud of those guys. Our Parks Department, anybody here from our library? Believe it or not, the library was, those employees over there were part of this concerted effort to return this city to normal of some sort. Planning and engineering, and we got somebody from planning was here, I think, a few minutes ago. Sherry, if you would. We had Karen Brower. Karen, stand, please. We thank you guys. I saw your cars in the parking lot past 4:30 on several days, so we appreciate that. Our utilities, Bob. Bob's is multi-talented. He not only helped us during the storm in a great way, but he's back there running our equipment tonight, so we can televise that and make sure that everybody in the community understands what a great staff we've got. Anybody here from the garage? Those folks, kept the equipment running. They were here long hours, and we appreciate very much what they did. We've talked about the police department. One other department I want to cover, and that's the fire department. They were gracious enough to allow me to use one of their vehicles during the storm, Robert. I appreciate that. They certainly kept us in constant communication so that we as members of City Council knew exactly what was going on in the community, and that we could respond as well to those folks that were out there. You take off the suits and you take off the ties, and we're just like you are, exactly like you are. We love this community. We want what's best for this community, and we'll do our part to make sure that this community prospers and moves forward. So, Robert, to all of your folks, man, not just now, but always, we appreciate it so much. All righty. Did I get them covered, Mr. Manager?
Would you mind me adding two comments at the end?
I wish you would.
One that wasn't on the list, and that was our omission, but I really would like to also express my appreciation for the superintendent and her senior staff. They made timely and very good decisions to close schools. I dare say, I'm guessing, but I think I'm guessing right, that our superintendent spent more time with us in the Emergency Operations Center than any superintendent in the state of Virginia. She was a full player. And if I could, even though I'm really proud of everyone, it was a tremendous effort some people get thrust into new roles at a moment's notice, and two of those people, Debbie and Jessica, are sitting here about 12 hours before things got real bad. The new city manager had an idea of running a live 24-hour-a-day citizen information line throughout the event, and I called them and said, I need your help, and they were there, and they pulled 4 or 5 consecutive 24-hour shifts between 4 people, and I just think we should tell them again how much we appreciate that. It's important.
Well said. Well said. All right. By the way, Tracy offers her apologies. I think she needed to get to the high school band concert. And if any of you folks would like to, like to leave, certainly do so at this time. If you'd like to. Don't expect you to hang around for the boring stuff that's ahead. You see how important it is. There's only 4 of us here, so. Okay. We've got an audit presentation tonight. And Teresa, would you like to introduce, please, the gentleman who is going to do that?
Tonight we have the audit with us tonight to present the chair members and also present our audit report.
All right. Thank you very much. Welcome, sir.
Thank you. Well, thank you, Teresa, Mr. Mayor, and the council. Although I like to think this is the best part. Tonight, in addition to giving you the results of our audit and our examination, I do have several comments I'm going to make to you. Are we there yet? How's that? Hear me now? Relative to the conduct of the examination, when I finish my formal comments, if there's any questions, I'll do my best to take those from you and see if I can deal with those at that point in the game. So what's up first? The opinion itself. I guess we want to go right to the bottom line. Our report is an unqualified report, and that is clean. What that means is that's the very best you can get out of your independent auditors. What it really means to you is that it's not just a bunch of numbers that are in this document that's in front of you tonight. Those balances actually exist, and those transactions actually occurred. The statements are prepared in accordance with accounting principles that are generally accepted in the United States of America. Those have become the standard by which everybody judges themselves, and you can compare your statements to other counties and cities throughout the Commonwealth of Virginia as a benchmark for yourselves. During the course of our examination, we noted no material transactions or balances that lack authoritative consensus within the literature. And as I'll speak about it later, we've also applied procedures over compliance with laws and regulations to the city. These financial statements are yours. That responsibility for fair presentation remains with you. Our responsibility is to express an opinion on those financial statements based on our examination. As part of our examination, we study your internal control, that is the system of checks and balances throughout the city, for the purpose really of assessing risk that material errors, be they intentional or unintentional, may exist in these statements. Again, our opinion remains unqualified. I'm also pleased to report we identified no material deficiencies in your system of internal control. There's several opinions contained in this document that you have in front of you tonight. In addition to the audit report in accordance with auditing standards, there's also one in accordance with government auditing standards. That particular document is contained in the back of the CAFR that you have, and that's in accordance with government auditing standards, or as you may know it, the Yellow Book. The Yellow Book requires us to test your compliance with laws and regulations that may have a material effect to the financial statements. That report is also an unqualified opinion. In conjunction with the Yellow Book, this past year they have merged still the specifications for audits of counties, cities, and towns as promulgated by the Commonwealth of Virginia. So that is part of the Yellow Book opinion, which is clean. Lastly, there's a third opinion back there, and
probably one of the most important ones from the standpoint of the city, and that is what's called a single audit, and it has to do with your expenditures of federal awards or grants. That document is contained in the very back, and we test your controls to make sure there is no material non-compliance with the requirements of the federal government. That report is also an unqualified or clean report. Financial statements contain notes to financial statements. The first note in the financial statement delineates certain significant accounting policies that are crucial to the statements. During this past year, there was a new standard that was implemented and adopted by the city, and that had to do with post-employment benefits other than pension, generally speaking, health insurance that is offered to retirees. All other standards have been consistently applied throughout this past year. Financial statements require management to make estimates of certain key items. Management makes those estimates based on past experience, current events, or expectations of future events. Obviously, the environment could change, and revisions would have to be made to those estimates, and that could be material to the statements. Examples of those would be allowance for uncollectible accounts, claims liability for workers' compensation claims, and things like that. So please keep that in mind. As part of the examination, I'm required to deliver certain things to you, all of which are good, and I'm getting to the end now. Here comes more of the good stuff. We had no disagreements or difficulty in dealing with management of the city of Poquoson during the course of our audit this past year. We did not identify any material adjustments that we required or asked management to make, be them individually or in the aggregate, nor were there any consultations with other accountants, which other accountants would be required to inform us of under auditing standards. That's akin to getting a second opinion on a particular matter that we may disagree on. We're not aware of any such consultations. Merry Christmas.
Well done, sir. Any questions?
One question. It pertains to the future, I guess. As you know, we had an election in November, and we had to change the city treasurers. Will you be coming back after the 1st of January to do an audit again on the treasurers?
As required by the Code of Virginia and the specifications for audits of city and counties, we are required, in fact, to be here on the day of the turnover, which, as I understand it, is December 31st. So we will be here for a cash count. There are also certain inventoriable items, such as dog tags, investments that's held by the treasurer on behalf of the city. We'll be counting and confirming all of that for the turnover examination that'll go on there. There's also work that we do with regards to uncollected real estate and personal property taxes. So we'll be here on, first is what, on a Friday this year? So we'll be here that Thursday to count, and it won't be any surprise. It's something that is required by law, and we'll be here that day for that.
Okay.
Other questions? All right. Thank you, sir.
You're welcome.
And Merry Christmas
Thank
to
you
you.
for having me.
We
Same to
appreciate
you.
it. Thank you so much. All right, let's move on to audience for visitors. Is there anyone in the audience that needs to address council, would like to address council on any other topic rather than those things that are on our agenda? Anybody? Okay. Let's move on to approval of minutes, and rather than do those individually, can we do those, if someone would offer a motion and include all three sessions?
Mr. Mayor, I make a motion that we adopt the minutes of the regular work session on November 23rd, the regular session on November 23rd, the work session on November 18th, and the work session on November 23rd.
Okay. Second. All right, we have a motion made and seconded that we adopt the regular session from November 23rd, the work session on November the 18th, and the work session November the 23rd. Okay. Any questions or concerns from the three of us? Ms. Wiggins, please.
Councilman Krieger.
Aye.
Councilman Freeman.
Aye.
And Mayor Helsel.
Aye.
Mr. Mayor, the motion carried by a vote of 3-0.
All right, thank you, ma'am. Let's move on to new business. First item, a resolution endorsing the resolution adopted by the Colonial Services Board relative to the Eastern State Hospital Downsizing Initiative. And Joan Lucera is here. Thank you for being here, by the way, Joan. And if we have any questions regarding that, Joan is here to answer those questions.
What is the chances of not downsizing?
Not downsizing? Probably not very good. But we do have some hope that a plan will be put into place. There has been one meeting between Deputy Commissioner of the Department of Behavioral Health and Developmental Services, Heidi Dix, as well as 2 representatives from the HBR 5 regional executive directors, one of those being our executive director, David Coe. So there has been one initial meeting of 3 people to talk about a plan that we would like to see put into place. So we do have some hope that there will at least be the beginning stages of a plan, if that helps.
You said, on valuable land up there. That's why I'm asking.
Oh, yes, sir, we are. And that's, well, I don't know what to say about that. We are sitting on some valuable land. A lot of people have their eye on it.
Go ahead.
I support the resolution. I just hope that we can keep it here at the same size.
Thank you.
What, any comments about what the governor may do on Friday with regard to Colonial Services?
I wish I had some comments from my executive director. I have none myself. He just got out of back surgery, and I don't want to
really?
speak out of turn.
Okay.
Yes, so
Okay, fine.
no, not from our camp.
Okay, all right, thank you.
Thank you.
Any other questions? Thank you, Joan. Thank you for
Thank
being
you.
here. Have a great Christmas here.
Mr. Mayor.
Yes, sir.
I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
I propose a resolution endorsing the resolution of the Colonial Services Board relative to the downsizing of Eastern State Hospital.
Okay.
A second, I'm sorry.
It's kind of how it's got to be tonight. You got to make the motion and one of us kind of second. Okay, we have a motion made second that we adopt the resolution. Judy, please.
Councilman Freeman.
Aye.
Councilman Krieger.
Aye.
And Mayor Helsel.
Aye.
Mr. Mayor, the motion carried by a vote of 3-0.
All right, thank you, ma'am. And a resolution making appointment to the school board, Mr. Krieger.
Yes, I make a motion that we adopt the resolution appointing Gary Wayne Carter Jr. to the school board for a term to expire on June 30th, 2011.
Okay.
Second.
All right, we have a motion made second. We adopt the resolution with Mr. Carter's name inserted. Judy, please.
Councilman Krieger.
Aye.
Councilman Freeman.
Aye.
And Mayor Helsel.
Aye.
Mr. Mayor, the motion carried by a vote of 3-0.
All right, thank you, ma'am. And item 3 is a resolution making an alternate appointment to the Board of Zoning Appeals.
Mr. Mayor, I request to adopt a resolution appointing an alternate member of the Board of Zoning Appeals with Bob Lippencott's name inserted.
I'll second that, Mr. Mayor.
Okay. All right, we have a motion made second. We adopt the resolution with that name inserted. Judy, please.
Councilman Freeman.
Aye.
Councilman Krieger.
Aye.
Mayor Helsel.
Aye.
Mr. Mayor, the motion carried by a vote of 3-0.
Thank you, ma'am. Item 4 is a resolution designating an authorized agent for Department of Homeland Security grants. Either of the two of you want to?
Yeah, Mr. Mayor, I make a motion that we adopt the resolution designating an authorized agent for the purpose of obtaining federal financial assistance provided by the Federal Department of Homeland Security and subgranted through the state of Virginia, and I understand the city manager is going to be the authorized agent.
Yes, sir. Second.
All right, we have a motion made and seconded. Who made that motion? Who made that motion?
Who's here?
Did we adopt the resolution? Ms. Wiggins, please.
I'm getting kind of worried about being on the podium. People are leaving. Go ahead. I'm sorry, Judy.
Councilman Krieger.
Aye.
Councilman Freeman.
Aye.
Mayor Helsel.
Aye.
Mr. Mayor, the motion carried by a vote of 3 to 0.
This is nearly as good as Billy Bob.
No, nothing will be as good as.
All right, item 5 is a resolution accepting the FY 2008 Department of Homeland Security grant for the CERT program. Mr. Wheeler, would you like to say anything tonight?
Would I like to say anything?
About that particular item?
This is something that you budgeted for and planned for, and if we don't do this, we'll need to pack our bags with CERT, so I strongly recommend it.
All right.
Mr.
Freeman.
Mayor, I'll make a resolution accepting the grant from the Department of Homeland Security for the Citizens Emergency Response Team for national preparedness efforts in the city of Poquoson.
All right.
I guess I'll second that.
Appreciate it. Okay. Judy
Councilman
Smith.
Freeman.
Aye.
Councilman Krieger.
Aye.
Mayor Helsel.
Aye.
Mr. Mayor, the motion carried by a vote of 3 to 0.
Okay, last item on the new business, resolution accepting a mini grant from the Fire Programs Fund. Mr. Wheeler, any comments?
Only that I support this, it's for important training materials that we need, and it has the best kind of match, which is none.
All right, Frank, your turn.
I'll do that. Okay, thank you. Mr. Mayor, I make a motion we adopt the resolution accepting a training mini grant from the Commonwealth's Fire Department funds.
Second.
Okay, okay, motion.
Don't you want to know who seconded that, Judy? No, you got it.
That we adopt the resolution, Ms. Wiggins, please.
Councilman Krieger.
Aye.
Councilman Freeman.
Aye.
And Mayor Helsel.
Aye.
Mr. Mayor, the motion carried by a vote of 3 to 0.
Thank you, ma'am. Mr. Wheeler, any comments?
Mayor, I was going to commend you on the smoothness of the conduct of this meeting myself. How well it went, motion made, voted promptly.
Only two things, sir. First, I want to thank each of you and also Councilman Crawford for attending our reception this afternoon honoring our long-term employees and our recent retirees. I know they appreciate it. I appreciate it as well. Also, one other thing, we do need to turn our attention at some point to a master work session schedule for next year. Given the fact that there are only 3 members of council here this evening, you have what is that sort of working copy here at the dais. What I would propose, but certainly accept direction in any way you'd like to go, is at the meeting on January the 11th that we bring in, as consistent with this particular draft, the Industrial Development Authority, and time permitting have the discussion on boards, terms, and commissions, and then at that meeting set the balance of the schedule for at least through the spring.
No argument.
It's fine with me.
That's all I have, sir.
Okay, Kerry?
Yes, I certainly want to extend the congratulations to all the people that we had in here, and they really do just outstanding work in the city of Poquoson, and it's just amazing to me frequently what gets done, and especially with our budget, and the folks just are outstanding. Also, just to comment, the middle school choir at the Christmas tree lighting, Miss Eberly and her group did a really good job. And the retirees at the reception you mentioned, worked for the city lots of years, so that says a lot about our management right there, that people stay that long with you. And just wish everybody a Merry Christmas.
All right, thank you. Frank?
Yeah, a couple of things, Mr. Mayor, just to keep it short. Not that they're looking for any further recognition, but if there's any way we can get like Amy Rogers and the members of Bobby Wood's Fire Department EMS team further recognition through either the state or the federal government. I think what they did, and talking to Bobby today, was above and beyond. Well, I shouldn't say above and beyond. That's their job, but that they did a fantastic job in bringing a young lady's life back to her, and you could see her tonight, and she looked really well. I mean, really well and healthy. So that's, to me, if we can go one step further in getting them some more recognition, I'd appreciate it. The other thing is, a lot of times people see things on TV, recognizing people, and I think, again, somebody went one step beyond, and that was Sherry Coffey. She saw something on TV on Channel 3 and recognized what they were doing for different people, and she put Mark's name in. And a lot of people will sit back and say, oh, gee, wouldn't it be nice if so-and-so was recognized, and don't do anything. Well, she did it, and that's why Mark was recognized by Channel 3 and to be on TV tomorrow night, from what I understand. I got a news at 6 or something like that. The third thing, I guess, is you mentioned a couple of meetings ago about the people in Poquoson, the businesses reaching out to individuals and whatever in times of need. And I had a chance through Carrie's group and through Alfred Cannon's heating and air conditioning over the past week and a half to see how they respond to people in need. And it's wonderful to see, support like that coming from our community. And it's just overwhelming to me that make a phone call and see that stuff happen. So, and that's it. And then again, happy holidays to all, on behalf of Tom and Binks and Tracy, I'm sure they would extend it. Also,
Absolutely.
happy holidays
Absolutely.
to the staff and the citizens.
Okay, all right, and I don't think I can, go ahead.
No reason to go to the left.
No reason, no reason. I don't have anything other than to say, once again, to those of staff that are here, I certainly hope that the holidays treat you well and it all goes well for each of you and your families. Certainly extend that to the community. Would ask that you would continue to keep the vice mayor in your prayers as he recovers from some procedures. I think he's doing well tonight, and just remember him and think about him as you go about your activities. We also have another employee, Bunky Carr, Claude Carr. Most everybody knows him as Bunky, who's also in the hospital and having some difficulties. So we'd ask that you would keep Bunky in your thoughts and prayers as well. And frankly, I don't think you could have said it any better. Had you rehearsed it, to be honest with you. But there's never been a time, in my tenure on this council anyway, that when we need help, we get it from this community. When I think about the Helping Hands group, or I think about independent contractors or the small businesses, again, the staff open their wallets and their hearts to those folks that need assistance and make it happen. And it's pretty phenomenal. It's pretty phenomenal when you really get into it and watch it work. What these folks do for those who are less fortunate. And I know that this Christmas will be a much better Christmas for a lot of folks because other people have sacrificed. And it's mind-boggling and it's phenomenal. But I'm certainly glad to be part of a community that responds in that manner. Okay. Anything else from council? Anything from anybody out there? Nobody? Okay. Is there a motion to adjourn?
Mr. Mayor, I'll move we adjourn.
All right, thank you.
I'll second that.
Okay. Ms. Wiggins?
Councilman Freeman.
Aye.
Councilman Krieger.
Aye.
And Mayor Helsel.
Aye.
Mr. Mayor, the motion carried by a vote of 3-0.
Thank you, Judy. We are adjourned.